Hello everyone, so today we are going to be talking about the case of Zion Foster. And I heard about this last year when it was going on multiple true crime channels, but as of this year, there's finally been an arrest made. So we're talking about it. So let's just go ahead and get into it. All the links I used for research will be down below like always. So Zion was 17 when she disappeared. She was last seen by her mom, Sierra Milton, on January 5th, 2022. Zion was going to work at the Detroit Wing Company in East Point, Michigan, and was picked up by Sierra's boyfriend when her shift was done around 10 p.m. Afterwards, Zion got home that night, and she and her 5 siblings spent some time in Sierra's bedroom. And this is a quote from Sierra. She says, "We were having our little powwow like we normally do, some jokes, talking about the day, and things like that." End quote. So they just kind of got together at the end of the day and were just cracking jokes and having fun with each other. And it seems like this was a pretty normal things that they would do. And that is when Zion would ask if she could go hang out with a cousin on her dad's side of the family. And Zion was picked up around 10:45 p.m. By this cousin. And when she left, she only took a purse and a phone with her. So it's not like she planned on leaving and not coming back. She only took a couple things with her. So Zion would text her mom "on my way" or OMW at 12:59 a.m. to let her know that she was coming home. And here is another quote from Sierra. She says, "My phone shows, our location, all of my kids' locations are shown." End quote. And she says this because 20 minutes after texting OMW or "on my way," Zion still wasn't home. And Sierra said that she always kept in contact, and Zion would never say she was coming home and then wouldn't. Like, if she said she was coming home, she was coming home. She was just that kind of girl. And so this really threw her off, so she would go to East Point PD the very next day, and she would file a missing persons report. And this was confirmed by the police department that she went and did that. So Detective Lieutenant Robert Koenigsmann confirmed that the Detroit PD and the FBI would both be getting involved on Zion's case. He also says that they executed many search warrants for the case, which did not bring anything to find her. He also confirmed that they received many tips from the public and continued to ask for more so that they would have leads to follow. On January 19th, Detroit PD announced that they would take the lead on the case, with East Point PD and FBI would be assisting, because it was likely she was last seen in Detroit. So, Detroit Chief White would go on to say at a press conference that investigators were interested in the cousin. This cousin's name was 24-year-old Jalen Brazier, who was described as a person of interest during this press conference. So, following this press conference, they would also announce on Facebook that Jalen turned himself in for questioning and surrendered. So, in March, he was convicted of lying to police about the investigation of Zion's disappearance. I'm not all sure what he said. I just know that he was lying. I would assume that he said he had nothing to do with it or he didn't know anything about it. But they got him for lying, and for that he was sentenced between 1 year and 11 months to 4 years. And investigators from multiple agencies and civilians would search a landfill for her remains, because they said that they believed that she was slain not long after her disappearance and that her remains were likely left in a dumpster, which the contents would then be taken to a landfill. And we have a heartbreaking quote from Sierra, and she says, "It's hard to grasp that," quote, "my baby has to be recovered from the trash," end quote. I can't imagine how, as a mother, you find out that your daughter's body is likely in a landfill, just among just disgusting things, as if she didn't matter. I can't imagine that, and especially by someone who, at this point, I'm sure they're probably thinking it's Jalen. I can't imagine how they have to feel, or how she had to feel. She says that Zion was 17 and looking forward to many milestones. In another quote, she says, We were supposed to have pictures and graduation and prom and getting a license. I just want to know what happened to my baby, end quote. Zion was very young. She had all this life ahead of her. She might have went to college. She might have done all this stuff and she wouldn't get the chance to. And she lost out on that, but so did Sierra. She lost out on the chance to have those memories with her child. Police would also submit a warrant to Wayne County prosecutors seeking murder charges against Jalen during this time. Investigators say that Brazier claimed Zion died from smoking marijuana, and that he went upstairs, and when he came back down later, she was barely breathing. He was freaked out by that. Left. I don't know if he left the house or somewhere in the house, but when he came back, she was dead. They also said that they couldn't say much more about the case because they had to keep the integrity of it. So at least they said that's why they weren't doing it. A lot of times police will just shut down. They won't even say that's why they're doing it. They just won't release any information, which is really frustrating. But they did say that they had to keep the integrity of the case and they couldn't release anymore. But that they said that Zion entered Jalen's home and wouldn't come out alive. So they started searching for her body in May of last year. And in October is when they finally ended the search and they found nothing. Her body has never been recovered. So they searched for months. In June of 2023, so just last month, which is mind-boggling to me, a murder charge was finally filed against Brazier. And so this is a quote from Assistant Prosecutor Ryan Elsey, and he says, "There is a compelling body of evidence against Brazier. Zion walked into his house late at night, and she came out dead. She was put in the trunk of his car, and he disposed of her in a dumpster. This idea that this is just some innocent person standing here is not going to be bared out by the facts," end quote. And that is because Tim Doty, the defense attorney, he tried to dispute that a homicide occurred, and he had asked the magistrate to let Brazier be released with an electronic tether, so I guess an anklet monitor kind of thing. But that didn't happen, and he was returned to jail with no bond because, he was serving his time for lying to the police. He got out. He was actually out of prison from that, and then was immediately returned without bond for the actual murder. So, fantastic. And we're going to finish off this video with a very sad quote from Sierra. And she says, "It is unbearable. How am I supposed to function? Yes, people keep telling me you have other children and, you gotta live for them and all that other kind of stuff. But no one that I know has ever been through this," end quote. And I think that is a very good reminder, is that a lot of people will tell people that have been through this kind of thing that they gotta stay alive for their other children. They gotta keep getting up every day for their other children. They can't let part of themselves die with this child. But the thing is, a lot of those people, they haven't went through something like this. They don't know the kind of toll that it takes to have a part of your heart ripped out. To know that your child that you brought into this world was killed, whether it was an accident or on purpose, that child is dead and they were thrown away like trash. Most people don't know what that feels like, and I kind of feel like saying you have other children to live for is kind of tasteless. It's kind of senseless. Why would you say that to someone who was grieving? It's just not warranted. So I can't imagine the hurt that Sierra is going through. I never want to imagine that kind of hurt, but I just know that she is so strong for continuing to go about her day for her other children. She is an incredibly strong woman. And my heart goes out to her family. There's a photo that's going to be on the screen. I might have showed it already. Of Sierra just in tears. And I wanted to cry when I saw that. This is something unthinkable that people just shouldn't have to go through. I hope that Jalen is held to the highest part of the law that he can be held to. I don't know what I think. I definitely think he has something to do with it. I don't know if it was an accident. Maybe something happened, like he said. But the thing is, he still would have disposed of her body. And that makes me think that maybe he did do something to her. I don't know what could have transpired. Maybe there was an argument of some kind. I don't know. Hopefully we'll find more stuff out here soon, in terms of like a trial and what they have against him, and like maybe autopsy results, because I couldn't find anything about an autopsy. I just said that, and I just realized again that they haven't found her body, so they wouldn't know. I'm sorry, I can't believe I said that. But maybe he could like finally confess to something, you know? I don't know. I hope if he did do something, he does give the family that. He does tell them what happened and tells the truth, because they do deserve that. So my heart goes out to the family. I hope that something of, this sounds horrible to say, something of Zion's body can be retrieved, just so that they can bury her. Please leave kind comments down below if you want to keep Zion in your memory. Please don't leave any hateful comments. Sometimes family go to the comment sections and they don't need to see that, so please just be respectful and kind. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for listening to Zion's story, and I will keep you guys updated in terms of a trial and all that good stuff, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye, guys.